We get confused when we're talking about function and posture. We think it's the same thing. It's not. In ortho, we know heavy and intermediate forces are resisted physiologically. Light and sustained forces elicit adaptive biological change. Prophet worked this out. Prophet spent a long time studying posture. Prophet was probably the most famous recent orthodontist, other than Angles. He's the man who created modern orthodontics. Well, in the 70s and 60s and 80s and 90s into the 2000s, he studied posture because he thought it was important. John Mew created the tropic premise. He spoke about that, which is a growth theory. He studied it from the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s and into the 2010s. And he worked out the ideal development of the jaws and teeth are dependent on correct oral posture, with the tongue resting on the palate, the lips sealed, and the teeth in light contact for between 4 and 8 hours a day. And he explained that yesterday. If it's just bones, this is just a day out of entertainment, right? If there's skin and bones, we should run. There's a science called biotensgrity. It's the science of how human beings and the structures of nature defy gravity. See, we build structures that we bolt together, but they're never as stable as structures that are held tight. Suspension bridges are not the same as Roman bridges, are they? How is this possible? How is this structure possible on this earth? It's called fascia. The sinew that little kids, oh, I don't like eating it. That adults today, oh, I don't like eating it. That those of us who know what our body needs, eat it. They're all intertwined. Your toe bone's connected to your foot bone, and your foot bone's connected to your ankle bone, and your ankle bone's connected to your leg bone. Your leg bone's connected to your hip bone, all the way up. This is actually a more correct model of how our body exists in gravity. Suspension bridge. How is this possible? How do we fight gravity? With body posture. Does it make a difference? Does posture matter? Posture matters. Does that matter? We celebrate this now. But this is what we need to survive. Oh, I can't pick the socks up, Mom, they're too heavy. And they smell. Good thing mums have superpower and they can overcome that toxic stench and fight gravity to lift those socks. You should not see your spine. How useful are you if you fall down and the first thing that meets the earth is your spine? How is oral posture different? It's not. Little kids under the age of 4 have their mouth open 84% of the time. Just look. Orthodontics is an amazing discipline. If you pretend that anterior open bites don't exist, that vertical growth doesn't exist, and that there's no such thing as relapse, then it's a perfect discipline. Vertical growth. People don't understand it. And they don't understand true mandibular rotation. And it's just something we don't talk about. This is what happens when we don't treat vertical growth. This is what happens when we don't treat vertical growth. Is it because gravity sucks? No, there's actually real reasons. Anything that upsets the nose, anything that creates allergies and sensitivities, anything that allows us to be soft, and anything where society doesn't pick up on it and correct it. Don't cross the road on the red. You're giving my son a bad example. Oh, he's a handsome boy. Too bad he slouches. That's what I would get when I visited with mum to her friends. They tell you to your face all the things that you're doing wrong. Because they mean well. Because obviously no one has spoken to you about it, otherwise you would be standing up straight. Why is this happening to us? There's something called an epiglottic soft palate lockup. We are obligatory nasal breathers in infancy. We breathe and feed simultaneously. When we grow up, this changes. We can no longer feed and breathe simultaneously because there's a separation of our soft palate from larynx. Why did that happen? The gift of speech. The gift of speech has a price, and that price is potential for sleep disorder breathing. You can't have it all. There's a price for everything. This is the reason why we have sleep apnea. Because we've been gifted with the capacity and the ability to speak. But there's the price. This is the beginning of the end. This is what creates the majority of our problems. 6 months. Shouldn't they be on solids? I've read they need to be on solids. Let's try feeding them. Where does it all end up? Everywhere but the mouth. What's your child telling you? Not ready for solids, Dad. What do? Swipe, swipe. And open. Swipe, swipe. Okay. And then one day, you get a little bit in. It's like the World Cup. You've won the World Cup. You're running around, you filmed it. But what did your baby do? It changed its timeline of growth to please you. And you completely wrecked the linear progression that is needed for adaptation of the right time at the right place for growth. And then forever, your child swallows instead of swallows or suckles. There's a suckle, then there's a swallow. You force feed your child and they learn to suck, swallow. And then we have the creation of orthodontics. I spoke about this. What are the jaws? A pair or a set? Neighboring sets. They're not designed to grow in harmony or balance. They have to be forced to do that. An arranged marriage. My grandparents had an arranged marriage. It went on for 85 years. A knife and a fork. Like if we threw cutlery set out onto the table and you asked a child who had no idea what that was, please pair things up, would they be able to do it? Spoons with spoons, forks with forks, knives with forks. Wonderful. Now set it up. The King of England's coming. Would they know what to do? Do they know the knife goes on the left? No, it doesn't. It goes on the right. Fork goes on the left. Spoon goes on top. Dessert spoon away compared to the soup spoon. Where does the butter knife go? You have to teach them. Little kid has the mouth open, what do? You take your finger and you go, whoop. Older kid has the mouth open, what do? Shut your mouth. You want them to indicate. Indicate. Use the indicator before you turn.